Good morning and welcome to a new update, and in this update we're going to cover 4 altcoins that are interesting inside the DeFi ecosystem, as DeFi hasn't been doing great in 2021 but might actually be starting to do well when it comes to the price action for 2022, or at least in the coming months. So we're going to cover around 4 coins price wise, fundamentally, in this update. So do not forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel beneath. Also do not forget to like this YouTube update and check out my Twitter and Instagram, as today we're doing a really cool giveaway on our Twitter, and I think you should definitely check it out. So that's the intro. What are the coins that we're going to discuss right now? The first one we are going to cover is Curve. And Curve, personally I had Curve earlier and it destroyed my portfolio back in the day, as it was still a very inflationary crypto, but we have adjusted it towards a deflationary concept actually, and recently Curve has been doing really well. And for the people that might not know Curve at this point, it's actually a DEX token, and DEX stands for Decentralized Exchange. What we can do on the Curve platform is that users can trade cryptocurrencies in a fully decentralized manner. So the automated market maker system of Curve is designed so traders can trade with minimized slippage and for very low fees. So previously the focus of Curve was on stablecoins, in which they had stablecoin pools on Curves, where users can easily swap between different stablecoins like USDC, USDT, or USD, which is Terra Luna one. Definitely check out that fundamental video from last week. Another example are the pools that consist of Ethereum-like coins or Bitcoin-like tokens. And the protocol itself is being used a lot by people that are looking for a riskless source of passive income of a certain amount of percentage per year, as those pools have a low number of impermanent loss and users enjoy a nice yield. However, recently Curve has been expanding to other pools, in which most importantly the Curve Ethereum pool is. It is the first time that for Curve that there is a pool with multiple or 2 different assets. The pool is working quite well at this stage, as more people deposited liquidity, and since its inception, its particular Curve pool grew to over 21% in market share. So it's very exciting to see that the actual protocol is growing quite fast at this point, and it's also reflecting in the price action of Curve right now. So the protocol itself is growing. The TVL that is locked up is growing quite fast. So I think it's one of the best projects to have when it comes to the DeFi sector. So what about the price action of the Curve at this point? Let's head towards the chart of Curve. So when we're looking at the price action of most DeFi projects, they've not been doing too well when it comes to growing in the past months, right? So Curve was one of the few that have been actually doing quite well, but given the fact that Bitcoin has been showing weakness due to the fact of some potential tapering discussions, we've actually been seeing some weakness on Curve too. This means that we're getting into a path where you want to start buying your positions, in which the first real or first massive support zone is the area that we have in this zone around $3. That is an area that you want to look at for potential entry points as the first primarily level in this case, in which we can start making a new impulse wave. And as you know, in December, I'm looking at altcoins to be buying at this stage, as I'm assuming that we're going into a bull cycle relatively fast. So what can we be looking at in terms of next impulse wave? We can just derive Fibonacci extension based on that recent low, recent high. We can start targeting $9.70 or $10 in the next impulse wave, and the second target is $15. Curve against Bitcoin, technically still holding the potential area that we should be holding, given the fact that we have been seeing some significant increasing power in the past months. We've had a big impulse on the Bitcoin pair, and in the previous Bitcoin rally or curve against Bitcoin rally, we've also held a crucial support. In that case, we've avoided any potential support resistance flip here, but we're still holding this crucial area, and technically you want to see it sustain above 5,800 sats in order to prevent a big correction to be taking place. So we're getting into an area where curve is actually becoming interesting. The second crypto that we want to start discussing right now is Sushiswap. We all know that Uniswap started initially, and then we've got a different one, which is Sushiswap, which is also a decentralized exchange. And over the past week, a drama has unfolded within the management ranks of Sushiswap. The CTO, Joseph DeLong, along with other team members, purposely abused their power in their own interest. They wrongly fired developers and were threatening their employees. This came out and was followed by a huge backlash of the community. Eventually, DeLong resigned and stated that he backs any individual or team stepping up to take control over Sushi back. It remains unclear who exactly will be leading the project. There have been rumors of a possible acquisition by other DeFi protocols, but nothing is confirmed yet. However, it is a project that is comparable to the actual project of Curve that we just discussed. Most of Sushiswap pools are denoted in two volatile crypto assets, and practically anyone can come in and create their own pool, which is the beauty of a decentralized world. Their DEX is almost on every major chain at this point and completely deployed there. Besides a DEX, Sushiswap also has a lending and borrowing protocol, a launchpad and an NFT marketplace, and therefore it's a very interesting DeFi protocol that could be making some huge gains when it comes to the markets. First of all, they have to solve the management issues, but once these are fixed, I think the price action will be starting to accelerate even more, and therefore it's one of the coins that I've got on the list. And let's talk about the price action and levels that we should be watching when we go to the charts. When it comes to DeFi that is actually continuously dropping down heavily, Sushi is one of them, and most of the DeFi protocols are correcting quite heavily. What are we seeing here? Well, technically we are in a downtrend. We are also down massively since the all-time high. Oh, that's the Fibonacci extension tool. We should be using the price action tool at this point, in which we're seeing that we have been going down 80% since the previous all-time high in May. Or actually in March, we have had an all-time high. Trend is south. We've lost an important level of support. We immediately rejected there, through which we're getting into a path where you want to start diving into potential positions when it comes to Sushiswap. The first area that I'm looking at is the area that we've already been bouncing on, which is the area around $4.50, the $4 to $5. The second area where I'm looking at is $3. That is normally going to give us a bottoming construction like we have been seeing in July of this year, and after that we can start making ourselves into a new impulse wave. Sushi against Bitcoin, heavily showing weakness, critical support to hold, party begins above, didn't happen, we rejected, and we also started rejecting a crucial area at 2200 sats, but we're completely retracing the initial pump, meaning that we're getting into support areas around 900 sats. We are getting quite close to actually a bottoming structure here. And as you know, December is still the area that I would love to take the entry points on altcoins. And Sushi is also on my radar when it comes in these regions, as then we can expect a new impulse wave. The third cryptocurrency that I want to discuss today is Bancor. And Bancor is also a decentralized exchange that works a little different than Curve and Sushi, as it has a series of smart contracts to manage the conversion flow between tokens, as well as the access to the different liquidity pools. At the center of the protocol lies the BNT token that connects everything, or all the tokens together. The cool thing about Bancor is actually that you deposit your tokens, and instead of facing impermanent loss at all times, you have an impermanent loss that is going away after 100 days. because of, well, actually that is a huge implementation for liquidity providers, as it's a huge issue for them. The reason why I included Bancor actually is the fact that they've announced Bancor v3 on November 26th. And that is resulting into some changes to the actual protocol, which is a full update and will bring a lot of upgrades to and new features to their users. The update brings a new set of new pools to the protocol that ease the trading process and make things a whole lot more efficient. They are also going to introduce auto compounding of the rewards and deal rewards by third parties. This will make Bancor much appealing to liquidity providers, and Bancor is also going to expand to other chains and layer 2s, thus finding more audiences, thus finding more TVL locked into the protocol itself. And that's why I'm including it as the third coin. So let's head to the charts, what we can see on the actual price action. Bancor is a little difficult chart at this point, as we clearly have been seeing a big impulse wave in March of 2021 as well. Heavy correction going all the way back towards the previous high, and since then we have been acting inside a range, right? So there's a few clear rejections taking place here, and we've also been hitting some support levels. So what we'll be looking at right now with Bancor is that we're retesting the range low, or we are reclaiming this level for a clear entry point when it comes to the USDT price action. Overall, you're also looking at a potential bottoming structure when it comes to Bitcoin, and once that one is going to bottom, you probably will be seeing strength on Bancor as well. In that case, the levels where I'd be looking at are definitely this range low, if that one is going to sustain for support in the coming period. This one is granting ourselves a great entry as a top DeFi project for my list as well. The fourth and last one is not a decentralized exchange. It's actually a token on Terra. And as we know, Luna, or the native token Luna, has been doing really well recently. Also, the amount of TVL locked in the actual protocol has increased heavily. So right now it's around 13 billion. And on Terra Luna, the largest number, or the most dominant protocol on there, is Anchor protocol, which has a TVL of 6.2 billion, which is close to half of the total TVL that is inside Terra itself. What is Anchor? Anchor is a savings protocol that offers yields on stable coin deposits. The rate users receive is based on staking rewards from major proof of stake blockchains, and therefore can be expected to be much more stable than other rates received from lending protocols. The protocol currently offers around 20% API on their deposited stablecoins, which is quite high when you compare it to your bank account. And not only that, they are going to be launching new projects or new platforms on the Anchor protocol. For example, or at least on Terra, for example, Mars protocol, which will be the first moneymaker on Terra, through which the entire ecosystem of Terra is going to expand quite heavily. So that's the fourth one that we're discussing right now. And finally, let's head to the chart of Anchor. The final one and the most difficult one to actually analyze is Anchor, which is just acting sideways at this point. The project is not that old, as we can see, or the platform and the protocol in itself, through which it is difficult to make any price action at this stage. But if we're looking at the price action, you generally want to look at this range for a potential bottoming structure here. If that is going to be a bottom, we most likely are going to find ourselves into a new impulse wave. But more or less, Anchor as a DeFi protocol is most interesting when it comes to the stablecoin yields, especially when we get into a bear market. That is one of the solutions that you could be looking at. I hope you have enjoyed this top DeFi video. Later today, I'll be back with another Avalanche update. So stay tuned, don't forget to subscribe, and have a wonderful weekend.